to milk the cow. And he said, no, but I learned not to take the cow over where the wild onions grow. Because if they eat where the wild onions grow, the milk stinks bad. They get in trouble. Then when he was 8 or 9, he moved to Detroit, and I asked him, you know, you were in all these little mining towns and stuff. What was it like to come to the city of Detroit? He said, all these big houses. He said, I had to go walk around the block a couple times just to see how big the place was. And of course, he was quite a ball player at Chancey High, and did a city championship game, hit a ground rule double, one bounce into left field. So, you know, he was definitely a better athlete than any of his sons and grandsons too. And so, of course, he gets to Michigan, and they're there for a year, and what happens? They get a depression. He gets done with high school, he's got no job opportunity except the Civilian Conservation Corps. And he went up to Wisconsin, worked in the woods. As he was telling me the other day, he said, for, what was it, 3 months you had to break limestone with a sledgehammer? Yep. As he was famous over when I was younger, he says, I was a mass of blue twisted steel. so he came back to Detroit after the CC camp and got a job at, with the auto industry at the Ford Motor Company in Highland Park, right? Right. And he's telling me, comes back, he's off of work, he's riding the trolley car back down Woodward Avenue. Somebody left the newspaper on the seat. I'm going to read the newspaper. Opens up, reads the newspaper, it's got a list of people drafted into the Army. Looks in there, dang it, there's his name. Even before World War II started, he was drafted in the Army. And so he, 9 months before Pearl Harbor, he's in the Army. And one day I'm talking to him about how I'm really proud of the fact that I can sleep anywhere. And when I was driving a truck, I could sleep on a bench. And he says, that's nothing. He says, I could sleep standing up. I said, when did you ever have to sleep standing up? He said, you know, just after Pearl Harbor, there was he was stationed by Los Angeles. What, it was south of Los Angeles?
Fort Ord, right?
Long Beach.
No, Long Beach.
And he was in an artillery, artillery what? Unit. That's it. And anti-air. I should have him tell the story. He said, you know, they saw these subs a few days after Pearl Harbor and they thought they were Japanese subs. He says, they put us on duty for 52 hours straight. Oh. He says, I learned how to sleep standing up, leaning up against it. And after the war started, he was shipped to the Aleutian Islands, right? And at Attu Island, there was a major offensive, the one attempt for the Japanese army to invade parts of the United States were in the Aleutian Islands. They had a major battle there named Attu that few people know about. He was in the mop-up group there after the battle, about 2 days after the battle started. It went about 5 days. And acknowledged that he saw some things that he wished he'd never seen, right? Right. And, but to bring this whole story to a close, I wondered how does a man reach 90 years of age? And there's something, he must have some sort of secret. And I'm talking to him, I said, let me get this straight. You're riding a streetcar, you find your name in the newspaper, you're drafted, you have to stay awake for 52 hours. Then you're stuck on this little Aleutian island for 18 months. You're what, 22 years old? 23? How old were you at that time?
About 23.
Yeah, 23, you know, he says, he says there's no trees, the wind will blow, what, 60 miles an hour? 60, 70 miles an hour. It's, you know, dark 22 hours, 23 hours of the day when it's in the winter. I looked at him, I said, man, you're stuck in this situation, you're 23 years old, you must have really been upset. Here's the best years of my life, your life, you know, and you're stuck out on this island and stuff. He gives me this disgusted look on his face, and he says, you kids sure look at things a lot differently than we did at that time. And, you know, I thought about it, and, you know, that's the secret. Deal with what's at hand, don't think about it, have a faith that you'll get through it, and that's what he's taught.
Amen.
Okay.